Hi everybody, Ken from Oz here. Thanks for coming to this video. Now, if you haven't caught the first video, part 1, you can find that down on YouTube. So this video is really now talking about how I journal and using the two Filofaxes in combination. The previous video was talking about how my daily planner, I had a very brief synopsis which I write down in a small moleskine. And from this dot point I then take time to translate this down, and helps me to write my journal. So I'm going to put this aside and we'll talk just about the A5 journal. Now, I've done a lot of updates on this journal, the A5 Ochre Malden. What I'll do is I'll just open it up. I won't go through a lot of it, but in a very brief outline, I've got a cover page. The paper I use is Kiki K paper, which I had decided to put in through my printer. And there's a Kiki K logo there, just to embellish it. It's sort of a bit of a steampunk theme, but I just wanted to have it a little bit more interesting than just plain writing and handwriting. And I did like the look of it. But what I did find though is that it's quite a very arduous job and takes quite a while. But if you can sort of see, there are some pages, if I can find one, maybe just recently, not really. I guess there's one page that's sort of quite blank, and what I do is try and just print those around, but I have found them to be quite, I think I'm a slave to that creative process. And so when I really want to try and get the flow of my journaling down, I'm trying to make it streamlined, easy, and without a lot of things that stand in the way. You can see, although I have said, I'm not really good on embellishment, I really just stick things in, but the photos and so on. But the things that I really want to put in here are my thoughts and ideas. So what I do is I set aside 1 day a week to do journaling. Now, that's not rigid. I have over many years journaled daily, and I found that worked for a long time. But as life has changed, I found that I cannot sit down and have the space to think through what I'm going to write. So what I've got to at the moment is that I have set aside a couple of hours on a Saturday or a Sunday, time for me, where I can sit down, get everything together, and then I can just do some writing. And sometimes I break that up into 2 or 3 sessions as well, depending on what's happening, or sometimes my hand starts to get a bit sore from writing too much, or can't keep up the pace of my ideas. But that way I've got at least everything I wanted to put in for that week. Now, my journal consists of 2 things: a bit of a running log of what has happened in my life, and I try and write down things that I know are not just routine appointments and so on, but just significant things that have happened during the week, and also then my thoughts and ideas on what I feel like I need to write as well. So there's a whole range of different parts, and that also changes as well, depending on my need and how I'm going and what's happening as well in my life. So what I do is I usually sit down, nice cup of coffee like I've got right now. It's a skinny latte with 2 stevia for those who are interested. And I'll have my small pocket open at the week, and that'll just be sitting up sort of somewhere on the side there. And then I can go through those points that to help me write out what I need to do. So at the moment, what I will do is, for instance, the next time I'm going to be journaling here will be here. So what I will do is I'll write out the date that I'm sitting down to write. So it could be Saturday the 20-something of March 2015, and then I will just write some ideas first, usually things that I just need to get out straight away. And then I'll go through and I might just write down Monday the 18th of March saw me doing this, and then I'll go through the dot points. Now, the dot points that I have already recorded, I don't translate all of them. I just choose what I think I need to do. And then I might expand on some of them. They're only in note form in the small Moleskine. And then I will expand them, put some ideas, thoughts, depending on what I want to do. Now, not all of the points will go down in here. Sometimes I just record, oh, I watched this TV show. Well, that's not something I really need to put in. Occasionally I do, but it's just really as a guide. So I'll write down, and then I get to finish Monday. I'll then, with my small dot points, I'll go on Tuesday the 19th of March. I woke up at 5:30, and then the day, and continued on and so on. So it can be a bit of an outline there. And I'll go through and I'll outline the whole week, usually a whole week. I try not to do more than a week at a time because it is quite a bit of writing. Occasionally, for different circumstances, I will have maybe 2 weeks to catch up, and I find that's just a lot to get done. So I don't want to get too behind, and I am pretty good at doing this on a regular basis, but things do happen during your week, and sometimes you just can't get to it. So then I start writing those things out, and then once I've done that, and it might take 5-6 pages perhaps, so again I'd sometimes break that up into 2 or 3 sessions, so that I've got the time to just put down in my thoughts properly. And then after I've done that, I might then start writing some more ideas that these looking over my week has generated some other ideas I want to talk about, and then I'll start writing down at the end of that. So basically, I guess my journal entries are on a weekly basis, covering my whole week, but it's all a big overview of what's happening. Now let me just get back to the pages. The printing these it's a little bit tricky. I've worked out a way to do that, and I've got quite a few of these templates that I use on a publisher program, and I just generate those. But what I'm finding too is that every 3 or 4 months I do have to print a bulk load of these pages, and it's not a terribly big job, but what I'm finding is that the KikiK people, these are hard to come by now. This is a bit of an off-white pager. It's quite good, but I'm finding that I bought a lot in bulk, so I've got a whole supply that I can use, but I'm just wondering at this point whether I really do need to do it. It looks good, but it is my personal journal, and I'm wondering whether my thoughts are going now is that although I like the look of it, the words that I write are more important for me. So my thinking at the moment is whether I should continue doing that. And then at the end of the video, you'll see where I'm starting to think about the future for my journal, and printing these doesn't seem to have a place in them. So I'll talk about that in a little while. But that's basically how I journal. I write with a pen, and I use a very, very inexpensive, this is a typo pen. It's a 0.38 fine gel pen from Typo. It's the cheapest. It's very, very light. I think it's about $1 or $2. It's very, very light, but it flows very quickly, and I do like a fine pen. I've tried my Lamy pens and expensive pencils and a whole range. For me, the cheapest one seems to work. I used the Brenda pens from Typo for many, many years, and I just found them that they're just okay. They're a little bit big to hold as well, but yeah, the cheaper one works. So I'm not really a elitist when it comes to my pens. I know some people are, and that's great, but for me it's just getting the text down. So that's my journal. The other thing I was going to mention too basically is that this is a year's worth of journaling. And again, I won't open them up, but you can see that there's a whole range of writing and bits of things that I've stuck in, tickets, and it's got that steampunk look about it, but essentially I don't really want to put too much in except my own words. Now what I would do, and what I've done over previous years, is taken these out I do like the way that when I use these papers, it has that sort of a coarse, old look about it. So I quite like that. So I'd take these out, and then I would then have the fresh set of paper for the next year. Now, an interesting point is that I started using this journal, this A5 Malden, in March, and so my year for 12 months goes from March to March. And a lot of people go, oh, you should start January to December. And yes, I guess I could have, but it doesn't really matter to me. And so I'm one of those people that if I start on New Year's Day, I have all these great New Year's resolutions to follow, and I tend not to follow some of them. Starting from March to March just happened to work, and so my diary journaling is March to March. So just a little bit of trivia, I guess, on my journaling. So it's now April, and I'm about to remove these, and then I'll put these into a separate binder, and then my idea was to just have them bound into a small book as well, and I'll get to that point in a few minutes as well. So if I'm facing another year of journaling, I came to a bit of a crossroads, and what I've really found was the journey I took taking the rings out of my pocket Malden helped me to think about and reassess what my needs are with my writing. So I've got and I love the Malden, I love the size of the rings, but also the rings do get in the way. So when I'm writing, I tend to knock the rings, and there's always this space here that tends to not be used very well, and it's a bit disjointed. So I guess my needs are, do I really need to do the embellishment? Do I really want it to look as pretty as what I was working on? And this takes a bit of time. It really does. And I'm just wondering whether at this point I've done enough, and I really just need to just write my words. And so coming up to this decision, I haven't fully decided, but what I did think of was, how can I simplify this further? It's very ornate, it feels good, it looks good, it's actually very nice to write in, and also with the bookmarks that I use, and there's this charm, which I think everyone likes this one quite a lot. I get quite a lot of comments about it. It's got the tags and so on. It's a good binder to hold, it's the whole package, but sometimes really it can also be a distraction. So my thoughts at this point is, could I live without a lot of this? The rings have always annoyed me, the looseness of the paper, and the problem that I have found at the end of my year of journaling, when this is a whole lot of loose paper and I want to keep it as a permanent record, and how can I do that? And so getting it professionally bound, or even doing it myself, am I going to ruin the pages that I've spent a lot of time on? All those different questions as well. So what I've come up with is, at that crossroads of when the March deadline for my year came up, was to start thinking, well, maybe I need to just streamline my journaling down. So what I've done is I've purchased a very similar size page from Officeworks here in Australia, just a binder. Now this cost me about $15, so it wasn't too cheap, but it's just like a Moleskine book, but the pages are sort of an off-white color, which are very similar to the KKK one. I do like the rounded corners, but it's just a plain notebook, but it's also very portable. And here's one of the problems that I did face with my A5 journal, and that was that it's such a bulky, large item that taking it away when I travel is very, very difficult, and I'm also very scared of it getting ruined as well. And it's because it's so flexible and squashy, Some damage can occur, and I've had a few things that have sort of torn inside here. I don't have a problem with getting the outside sort of marked. I quite like the way the Malden does that, but overall it's a very heavy binder. All my thoughts are in there, and taking it away, it's not portable, and not every week am I sitting at my desk with the space to write. So my thinking got to moving on to just a simple binder. Now, aesthetically, I don't quite like it as much, but I'm just wondering whether it actually does meet my needs. The process of writing will remain the same. So I've tried, and this is only one weekend's worth, so I'm going to try and skim through without showing you all my writing, but basically it's just text all the way through. I found this really nice. I think when I was traveling in through the South Pacific, I found this bookmark somewhere. I don't know where I got it from exactly, but that seems to fit in as well, and there's also the ribbon there. So what I'm going to do is trial this. Now, the good thing about this is it's in one package. My idea is I can take it with me if I'm traveling. It's more portable. I think what I'm wanting to do is find a really nice leather cover that I could slip over the outside to protect it. That this is removable, so a little bit like a Midori system. I really don't think I need all of the stickers and all of the other embellishments for this. I think what I do need is just something that is easy to write my words down. The paper quality is important, and again, the pen, using the pen to make it flow, works really well. So at the moment, what I've done is I'm still storing it inside the Malden, because the Malden are very generous in able to accommodate lots of different things, and it's making it quite thick now because it's still a trial. So I'm not really convinced yet whether this is the way to go for me, but I have an idea that maybe this is the streamlining that I'm going through with all of my Filofaxes. This is where it's going to start working for me. It's simple, it's there, and the good thing about this is that it is all together. It's already bound. I won't fear pages being torn. The downside is I can't print on these, obviously, so there'll be less pictures. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I think I'm going to just trial it for a couple of months to see where I go with it. If it's not working for me, there'll be enough space to rewrite these pages, although I have a feeling if I just very neatly cut down the spine here and put holes in it, these will fit straight back into the Malden quite well. So that's my journey with my journal. I kind of like the idea that my journal is a very simplistic version at the moment. There's no promises there though. I may end up just going straight back to the Malden, but it's really a wait and see thing. So that's sort of where I'm at with my journaling at this point. So I hope you've picked up some good ideas, and stay tuned. I'll do an update in a few months just to let you know how things are going. The big questions are, can I put up with just having plain text? Will that work for me? Will that free me up, or will it not be as aesthetically pleasing experience that I have experienced with the Malden? Not having rings, will that be a good thing or not? At the moment I'm thinking yes, it may be. So there's a lot of questions there. A very long video today, so thank you for watching. You can hear I've got this very heavy head cold, so a thumbs up for me for enduring to make this video. If you have any questions at all, please contact me in the space down below, and I'll see what I can do to answer your questions as soon as I can. So that's my thoughts on journaling. I hope you found it interesting, and I'll see you at another Filofax video.